I don't think I could start it actually.
I did. I already started it.
Okay, cool.
We are live. Um, Not a traditional podcast introduction and music and all that jazz, but what's up, guys? How we doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing good. Just got home. Didn't even get to put my jersey on yet, but we're excited for the game.
North Texas represent, baby.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Dennis, you playing what? What FIFA, bro?
I just switched to 22, which is the last one that Tigres was on. So
Okay. On
I'm
what?
not getting 20. I'm not getting 25 until it goes on EA Play,
On
like
what?
in
What are you?
PS
What are you playing it on?
PS4.
Oh wow.
I don't have a five.
Coop is saying you're dog water at FIFA. Dude, I honestly okay. I think I have 22, dude. I have a PS4 that I haven't touched in probably like 4 years. I might have to hook it
Oh,
up and
oh,
play
that's
you.
Clayton. Clayton, you know that I'm okay at FIFA. I beat you once or twice, but I ain't dog water.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a message after this recording, and I'm gonna set that up. I want to play. I want to see how you are, and Clayton to see if he's good. What are we thinking about this game, guys?
I think we
Um,
desperately need the 3 points.
yeah, I'm kind of bummed that Antuna's starting. Other than that, I'm kind of okay with the lineup.
You know, I'm gonna start off before we even get into the game. I don't know if Alfred is listening. I hope he is. He's active on Twitter. How worried are you guys about these minutes, like youth minutes thing?
So we talked about it in our chat well, throughout the week, and I wasn't too worried about it. But after that post that you sent us earlier, where some of our starters are getting minutes in the U23, and the players that should be kind of interchangeably getting our first team minutes aren't. That now I'm concerned.
What about you, Dennis?
I think I'll be way more concerned if Chicha doesn't get any minutes tonight. I mean, really, this should be a game we should handle comfortably. Fingers crossed, right? Um, and so hopefully he can come on at the end and kind of help the cause. But I don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna be completely honest. I am not worried at all, and and here's my reason. He's rotated so much, and Edgar made a joke about it, and it's not like he's gonna plug him in. Like he'd be like, I'd be completely shocked if this man doesn't play him to get the minutes because Alfred put out a great thread describing the minute situation, and we'll get there with Ociel and Marcelo playing, and I think maybe even Tapia squeezes one game, at some point just to get even extra plus minutes. But Chicha just has to play two games, meaning 180 minutes, and we'll be locked in. And it doesn't concern me because not necessarily because I think just more so he's going to plug him in. I just don't see him being that stupid not to play him. And we've done it in the past. Tuca Ferretti did it, a while back, and he would just plug in randomly a left back. And I think at the time it might have even been like Yair Diaz. Prior to him, there was another youngster. Alfred's saying at this point, though, he hasn't plugged them in all season. If he was going to put him in two full games, I get that, dude. But like, it's not gonna matter. Like, he's gonna plug him in. He's not gonna lose the 3 points. Like, if we were bad, and I would say like we were really stressing for the points, I think that I'd be even more concerned. But I just don't see it. Like, we're not gonna like it how he's gonna be plugged in. I think he's just gonna be plugged in randomly, and he's gonna be on the bench tonight. So if the results in our favor, like odds point that he's gonna play tonight. I just don't consider him like even like someone to add to our rotation. I don't know about what you guys think. He's played like 6-7 minutes in that when Siboldi debuted him, and he looked good, in youth national teams. But I feel like we haven't even figured out our wingers, and I just don't see him better than him. And I don't think we're in a position to try him out and see like how much he's gonna play. So I think you just got to work him in. And I don't know, like I said, if maybe you throw him in and he gives you the full game, but I don't know, is he even like capable of giving you the full game at that physicality like in first team? I don't know what you guys think.
Well, you say that, but we employ Diego Lainez, so I think there's room for him somehow.
Yeah, but Diego Lainez is a little bit bigger. He's a lot more muscular, and he's been playing professional for like 5-6 years now. And he's gone to Europe. So I mean, this guy, I don't know. I'm not high on him. I've lowered all my expectations that I hear about the fans and our wingers and like just hyping players up. I'm only hyping up the players that I know, which is the legends, the Aquinos, the Cariocas, the Gignac, Nahuel, and now Joaquim is doing excellent. But other than that, Nando now obviously having a good season, but everybody has something to prove for me when they go out and play for Tigres. I don't think we need guys just to like play him for minutes, I guess. Just because let's see how good he is. But lineups out. We got Osiel Herrera playing out wide on the left winger position, his more natural position. Gignac up top, Cordova and Antuna. How do we feel about that four-player combination?
So I think Antuna being in the lineup is interesting. I hope it works out well. He's kind of really the only player that hasn't convinced me just yet. But I mean, this would be his third game with us?
Fourth. Yeah. Yeah, he played Pumas, Querétaro, Juárez, and now this game.
Okay.
So this should be the final test. He should be acclimated to the team and something to prove this game. And if not, I think he loses his spot. Theoretically, right? From the fan perspective, he's gotten enough playing time.
Yeah, and I mean, like we've mentioned before, the standard with him is definitely a little bit higher just because he's already a Liga MX player. He should be adapted to the league without question.
Yeah, I feel like it's just at this point it is a system, whether he's going to fit in the system of that Paunovic is looking to play. But in theory, he should fit because Pauno plays through the wings.
Yeah. Tigres takes Alfred, calling him Quiñones 2.0.
That guy, I'm telling you, Luis Quiñones lives rent-free on our podcast and every Tigres fan's head. The man finds a way to somehow make it back. But Quiñones is goated, dude. He's the assist king for Tigres, and that takes a lot because we can't even get assists from the GOAT Lainez, the GOAT Cordova, the GOAT, Osiel Herrera, the GOAT Antuna. So that's, some of the fan base hyped them up. So Luis Quiñones, the assist king for Tigres for quite a bit, and I don't know if anybody's going to dethrone him.
It'll be difficult. I mean, depending on how long Marcelo stays and how well he adapts, that's a potential, but I think he's going to end up leaving to Europe before he gets the opportunity to dethrone Quiñones.
Yeah, let's just not talk about Quiñones. He's just too good. He's already past our time. He's the assist king, and people got to stop talking bad about him. I'm looking at you, Tigres takes.
Let's switch it up, though. How do we feel about Brunetta not being in the lineup?
Yeah, that's the concern for me.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Really? Not even just a tad bit?
No. I mean, Cordova earned his spot.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right? So, and have we, well, not have we, would we exceed the foreigner limit if Brunetta was on the field?
Let's see what we got. We got Nahuel, Juan, Pizarro, Joaquim, Carioca, Nando, Gignac. No, we got 6.
And it's 7, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So maybe he could have played. I don't know.
Because me not being fully convinced with Antuna just yet, I would have liked to have seen the BCG and Osiel.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see, man. Like, I talent is talent, Like, I think that has to overrule the system at some point. I know he wants traditional wingers, and that's why Antuna was brought up, especially with Quiñones being sold. But he played Cordoba wide, and we were winning some games with him and Brunetta on the field, and Ociel Herrera with Marcelo coming off the bench, being a super sub, and not having that pressure to like consistently, for 90 minutes having to take on players and, just coming in fresh legs, quick chop, a quick cut, either some shots, some crosses into the box. I feel like that was the formula. And I don't know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. And Brunetta is still an elite player. I mean, that's why, like, I asked you, like, are you not even a tad bit surprised? Because, man, that's something must be really going on, or he must not really like him. I mean, because other players are not performing and they're still playing.
Yeah, I just read a comment scrolling through here. I mean, I don't know, someone's opinion saying that Cordova is only in the starting lineup because he scored last match. I mean, I don't believe that,
but fair, right? Like, he came in, he saved us, and he's had performances where he comes in and he gives an assist, or I just feel he has more credit, right? And so I think ultimately I agree with you, Dennis. He has deserved and earned that spot. But I mean, Brunetta sitting on the bench, and I don't know. And you didn't play him last game. It's just concerning for me, because it's like, what's the plan then? Like, are we just gonna continue to like skip out, like hoping that he comes in and has a great performance off the bench?
Right. Yeah. Well, and also we know that APG and Cordova's connection is really strong. So I think that too, and having maybe just one natural number 10 was probably the play. But I don't know. Beats me. We're not Pauno.
Yeah, and last Sunday he played Ociel Herrera at the 10 spot. So it's like, what are we doing? So I don't know. That's what, like, again, concerns me. Rotations, the player of Brunetta being left out. Those are concerns for me. But we'll see. The rest of the lineup, obviously, we got the same old usual. Carioca's back with Nando in the middle, so we should look good possession-wise, at least with more clarity to move the ball around, with Carioca handling and pulling the strings in the middle. The back line, what it's been established now as our starting back line with Angulo, Joaquin, Pizarro, and Aquino, and then Nahuel in goal. So overall, what would you say you give your rating to the lineup?
8 out of 10.
What do you think, Edgar?
8.5 out of 10. Like I said, Brunetta, and Antuna is the only one that's kind of questionable at this moment, but we'll see.
What do we expect out of Leon tonight? Think they're going to come out?
I have no idea. This team is a mystery to me. I watched them play during Leagues Cup, and I've watched a couple of their league games since then, and I don't know how to gauge them.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They're in 17th place, so that looks not good for us, because we tend to do really bad against the 17th and 18th place teams.
Yeah. But we're at home.
We're at home with TV Azteca on the call in Monterrey, so, and the fans, obviously, which we'll see. Last Friday game against San Luis, I think they probably were at full capacity. If not, they were just a little bit off full capacity. But I think it'll be maybe same showing. I think an 8:00 game in Monterrey, that sort of gives you enough time to get off work, but you probably would have to been prepared to go straight from work to the stadium, at least for 30-40% of the population attending.
I'm just mad we're about to hear Raul, whatever his name is, on Estrella after how horrible he was the last time he called their game.
You're not a fan? Are you not a fan of his comments, or are you not a fan of his style?
Both.
Yeah, I haven't heard him call the game for Tigres. Fortunately, I was in Monterrey the last time, so I was able to hear Martinoli, and it was excellent. It was awesome. They should go on Fox Sports as well, though. Don't you have Fox Sports?
Nah, I mean, I do, but I gotta like download and re-download the app every half. So,
why?
Because I don't have it on my YouTube TV, so I have to like.
You're doing the free hour on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
my
how we make it
man.
work. Yeah, bro.
Dennis, what don't you know how to do, bro?
Hey, the good thing about that too is that Fox is usually ahead of Estrella. Estrella's always
Well,
like a minute behind.
bro, lower budget, bro. What do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't
How-
afford to keep Luis Omar on payroll. So
Well, Luis Omar Tapia, really interesting enough because you bring up Pollo Ortiz. Pollo Ortiz was, I'm going to take you back on how his origin came to TV. So he won a contest with now Andres Vaca, the main guy now for TUDN, that used to be a big Tigres fan, and now he's just straight America fan.
Mm-hmm.
So him and Pollo Ortiz won the contest to become like broadcasters for and do the play-by-play for Televisa. And so then Pollo Ortiz leaves and he goes to TNT Mexico, which calls the Champions games. And so he leaves, and obviously we had Luis Omar Tapia, but now TNT Mexico hired Luis Omar Tapia to call Champions League games.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so Pollo Ortiz went to Fox, which Fox, again, because of the partnership in the U.S., calls the Estrella TV games here. So that's how he ended up with us. I don't recall much of his games. I mean, I do remember back in like 16, 17, around that time, he did call our games. But, he's a big America fan, so he's not afraid to criticize, especially, with a lot of the players that are on the squad with past America history. So good luck to you guys watching Estrella TV. I'm going to go watch Martinoli. You got to get a Roku, dude. $20 a month.
Dude, hit us up with the plug.
Yeah. Okay. I need to send that over to you.
You've been saying that for like a month. I've been
Yeah,
waiting.
you got to remind me, bro. There's so many things that we talk about that, like, especially
it all
with,
runs together.
Yeah, like all the ideas that we have and things that we got to talk about. You got to remind me. But bro, Martinoli calling a Tigres game is excellent.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. All right, you want to talk femenil now?
Yeah, before we got about, we got about 19 minutes to kick off. How did you guys?
Maybe like almost 30 because they're going to start at like 9:10.
9:10, yeah. 2-0 victory by Tigres Femenil. Late. Dude, that was a close one. I thought we were going to get embarrassed. And shout out to Cruz Azul Femenil because I don't ever recall them playing this well. And they gave Tigres a run for their money, at least 60, 70%, 70 minutes of the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I made a joke in the chat saying, should I go to bed now to spare myself the frustration or ride it out to the morning? So I actually went to bed 3 minutes before the first goal.
This guy.
But you got to admit, we were playing horrible for playing against a team with 10 players.
Yeah.
Dude, and even prior to that, like, Lou tweeted it out. Like, I don't know if this is his exact tweet, but he basically said that Coach Mila sucked like the energy out of our squad. Like, we just don't look dominant at all. Like, the talent's still there, like individuality, it's still there. And like, I mean, you can argue, I would say we've gotten the results on the men's side, but talent has for the most part at times, pulled us through to victories. And we went through those slumps, through different coaching eras over the last 2 or 3 years. Yet Tigres Femenil, with all that talent, man, and especially with a team like Cruz Azul, who doesn't have as much talent as they do, they struggled, like stringing passes together, intensity. Like, it's just some players just don't require to be starters. And I know that we have several names that shouldn't be in the starting lineup. I sent the message out yesterday after the game. Like, it's just I don't really know what to think anymore at this point with the bad coaching that is going on. Like, bad tactical awareness, bad management throughout the game, and the subs are very repeated. Like, you can like take a guess and at who she's gonna sub in, and when she's gonna sub them in, and it just doesn't work.
It's just the the vibe of the team is gone. The identity of the team
There's no identity.
doesn't exist anymore, and you can see it in just kind of the way the players' body language is. Um, whether it's on games or on even on social media, like the picture day vibes yesterday from Femini was not great. Um, and also the crowd. There's not a crowd there anymore.
I don't blame them.
Yeah,
I
I don't
mean,
either.
the product's not good. You can watch it at home.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Like my main thing is, Mayor getting so many like amount of minutes. I've said it quite a bit now. I don't think that she needs to be completely taken off, entirely from playing, but she needs to be managed differently. Yesterday alone, for example, she stayed on while Nayeli Rangel came on, and Nayeli Rangel traditionally is a second midfielder, right? Which she's more of a box to box. She obviously has scoring threat, and she's been played all over the pitch, throughout her career. But more recently with Milan, she's played forward, she's played attacking mid, and sort of gone away from her position as a second, center mid. And yesterday, when she made the subs, she brought on Nayeli Rangel, and Nayeli Rangel played attacking mid while Mayor played that center mid spot behind her. Like, if you're gonna do that, like, don't sub somebody else out. Like, keep Ana Diaz in. She subbed out Ana Diaz, who clearly has a ton of intensity. She's physical. She fights, throughout. Like, she is what Mayor was, 5-6 years ago, right? Like, Mayor was super intense on the ball. Like, she was physical. She was all over the pitch. Obviously, different playing styles, but Ana Diaz clearly to me is the starting forward. And to take her out yesterday in a game where she could have contributed even more and contributed some while she played on the field, to bring on Nayeli Rangel and then play her in Mayor spot and then move Mayor back, that was wild to me. It's an obvious favoritism that it's being played out with Mayor. Like, it's just not. I don't know if she's afraid to like sub her out and like lose some of the locker room. I'm not sure. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
She needs to be like played like V1, where you come on as just a sub and maybe the occasional start.
You're right. Yeah.
And she's being treated as if, she's Antuna at the moment, or maybe, I don't know, somebody who's been there for a long time on the men's side.
Bro, no, she's getting treated like a Pizarro, a Gignac, and she's not producing.
Yeah, exactly.
She gets her goals here and there, but overall, to the collective aspect of the game, she doesn't do very much anymore.
She hasn't done much good since that like game at the beginning of last season, like in January, where she had like 3 goals and like got the club record.
Yeah, and she scored some goals after that. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
take away that she hasn't scored goals, but I'm talking about just specifically and strictly like overall play of the team. She just does no longer fit in. And yesterday, another example is playing Alison Gonzalez out wide when you have Montoya on the bench, dude. Like, how much are we gonna insist on that?
Yeah, I don't. That is like borderline fireable to me. Because like she's a striker. She's always been a striker. She doesn't have the pace to be out on the wing, unfortunately.
Even if she had the pace, she doesn't have the dribbling ability, bro. Like, she's not gonna go by players. She's showing you that she's a finisher. She's top 5 in the league's goals scored in all the history of the Liga MX Femenil.
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing her out wide. There's youngsters behind that can play there. There's obviously Montoya. Tembi came on. If you're not gonna like just play Tembi, I don't think Tembi gets tired.
If you're gonna switch something up, then just have, I don't know, have one of the wingbacks play up there, because they're actually on the wing. And maybe that's a dumb idea too, but at least that's more natural.
Yeah, I think just to sum it up, we won 2-0, but it was a terrible game by Las Amazonas. The last 10 minutes sort of kept it interesting because the goals came on, but they played for about 35 minutes, Edgar, with 10 versus 11. I think it was a 12-minute when they got the red.
Yeah, it was quite a while.
Yeah, not convinced, man. I think if we continue to play this bad, I, on the men's side, I despise Chivas more than America. And on the women's side, though, I definitely despise America Femenil more than anybody else, even more so than Rayadas, just because, like, 2 against 6 championships, and they still, I think that they're,
The
the
better
best.
team.
Yeah, exactly. But, they have been playing well, and they're definitely going to be the team to beat, even though Pachuca is, obviously doing really well and keeping up with Tigres Femenil as far as the standings go.
Yep. At least we're still in first, I guess.
Yeah.
Officially qualified for Liguilla as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was cool.
That's true.
I saw something today. I, and take it with a grain of salt. I don't think it was very. I think it was more so a reflection more than anything. It's one of those accounts like, like the Guantes. It wasn't the Guantes, the Ciboldi or whatever, the Lázaro de Nahuel now, or the Paunovic account. I forget what the name of the account was, but I came across it, and basically they were summarizing the offseason for Tigres Femenil and how Andrea La Chata Hernandez is on the squad and she doesn't get any minutes. And Tigres Femenil was negotiating Irene Guerrero, who's having a stellar season since their arrival at America Femenil. They were also negotiating Sandra Paños, who's the starting goalkeeper for America Femenil, who came over from Barcelona. They were also negotiating, I can't think of her first name, but her last name is Restrepo, the Colombian national team player that came to Rayadas. And specifically Irene Guerrero and Restrepo, who played in the middle of the field. And who was the other player that they mentioned? I can't recall the fourth player that they mentioned in the post, but they were saying how, like, even though Tigres Femenil is still the most successful team with 6 championships, maybe because of what's happened in the last, 9 months or so, 10 months or so, with Mila Martinez, and I guess prior to that as well, and because players have come over like Montoya, Evelyn, who else? Players that didn't really get a chance to play. That these players that I mentioned that they were in negotiations with that might have been like steered off from coming to Tigres Femenil or they weren't convinced because of what's happened lately.
Yeah, and that goes all the way back to the Carmelina Moscato era. I mean, we had so many good foreign players that didn't get any minutes, and now they're gone. Riley Parker was a phenomenal.
Right, Riley Parker, yeah.
Definitely needed minutes to prove herself, and she never got them.
Yeah, and we have 2 foreign spots that we didn't get to use.
Yeah, it's not good management. Something's got to change there. And from those names that you just mentioned, I know for a fact 2 out of 4 we were close.
Yeah. Very strange, and what a coincidence that both of our squads on the men's and the women's great defenses this year. Tigres Femenino with another shutout. Somehow the top of the league on both sides and not convincing, right, on the field. What do we make of that?
I mean, part of it really, truly, and honestly right now is kind of just luck. I mean, there's a couple men's games that could have gone either way. Really, truly, and honestly with Femenil, if it wasn't up to the individual talent, there's a lot of games that would have tied or lost as well.
I think we've only scored, in only 4 games out of the 9, I think we scored more than 1 goal on the men's side.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw that stat. It's something around those lines. Yeah, Tigres Femenil first place, and Tigres men's side what? We're second or third?
We
should be still second.
Yeah.
Still second? Actually, I just had it pulled up.
Yeah, Cruz was
We're second. And neither team is convincing.
We're second, and we play Cruz Azul to end the season. And it would be really sad if we play that game, we win, and then we still lose points anyway because we don't meet the youth minutes. That would stink.
I mean, we've got 2 good, or I'll say decent opportunities left to plug in some good youth minutes against Puebla and against Mazatlan. Less competitive teams, but of course, Juarez decided to not be a less competitive team. Querétaro decided to not be a less competitive team.
Hey,
so-
you say that about Mazapan, but all I gotta say is one thing. Bucetich.
Bucetich, who wanted Fierro to go to Mazatlan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back and talk a little bit about that, bro. Now that we got the rant about Tigres Femenil out of the way, going back to the men's side. U23, you had Rafael Guerrero, who got hurt, and he's probably going to be out for a year.
A long time, yeah.
That was a bad injury. I didn't see it. I was watching the game, but when I started tuning in, I think they were up 2-0 at this point. They ended up winning 5-0. The U23 team is leading the league standings, and it's in first place. Ridiculous that we have a U23 league to begin with, because at that age you should be playing. I believe at least the rest of the world is playing at that age professionally and with their first team. And it's so odd that we're in first place at the U23, and we had Rafael Guerrero, like I mentioned, new player from Cruz Azul, youngster that we got hurt, going to be out for about a year or so. Eugenio Pisuto scored a goal today. My man is a model for all of our jerseys and plays with the U23 so much. And a guy that had so much potential and obviously didn't work out at Tigres now with different coaches. And I don't know what it is. Truthfully, we really haven't seen him play very much to like actually analyze his game. But he scored a goal, but he's obviously part of the first team. Then you had Eduardo Tercero, who looked foolish. This dude just looks foolish out there being the starting right back with nothing but like 19, 20, 21-year-olds. Had a couple errors when I was watching that game. And so he was the right back, first team player. And then you had Fierro, who scored a banger. I don't know if you guys saw it. If you didn't get a chance to see it, I'll share it in the group thread now. But if you're tuning along, Edu Torres shared the video today, and Fierro scored a banger, dude. And he plays with the first team. And then Osvaldo Rodriguez, who was brought in to compete for a starting left back position against Angulo, and was a national team player, starting player for Leon. Obviously, this season he dropped form, and I think that's why he became available. But to go to the U23, like, that's concerning for me. And then the other guy, David Ayala, I don't know if you guys remember him. He had a terrible injury as well. It was his first game back, so he also played. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players from the first team playing U23 minutes this morning. What do you guys think about all that?
Waste of talent. I mean, if you're gonna sign Osvaldo Rodriguez just to send him to the U23, that was a waste of money. That was ridiculous signing, ridiculous decision as well. Embarrassing to have a player, like you mentioned, national team player, supposed to compete with Angulo, and now he's not even going to make the bench. What was the point of that? Fierro, also, I don't know what's going on there. He should be competing for a spot with Carioca. He should be getting minutes there. He doesn't. The only one that does is Vigon.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I mean, I'm not saying Fierro is goated, right? Like, I don't think he needs to be get clear minutes and be respected. And, I think he has some sort of like talent. And I think I mentioned it earlier. I think a couple of days ago, I can't remember when I mentioned it. I watched Pello Maldonado the last couple of days, and Carioca is a big fan of Fierro. And, that's somebody that represents so much to our history and along our midfield, right? Everything that he does and takes care for us. So I don't know how truthful that might be, or that, how close that statement is to reality. But ultimately, he's also a U23 national team player. Like, he definitely should be getting some type of minutes, especially with all the rotations he's doing.
Absolutely. To me, it's just kind of weird that he's getting overlooked. And he's gotten praise from multiple players as well. Guignac's spoken highly of him. I think Florian was the one who nicknamed him Kimmich.
Kimmich, yeah. I remember they used to call him Kimmich. The Kimmich, and Kimmich Mexicano. Goes back to, I think, Paunovic, dude. 15 games in. What do we give Paunovic before this game at home tonight? What rating do we give him?
Like a 6, maybe.
Even with all the positive results?
Yeah, because you got embarrassed in Leagues Cup, and you've had some really embarrassing results recently, and the rotations have become too much. He's made the offense significantly worse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, I brought up the U23 stuff, because you don't have to be a hardcore fan, a hardcore tactician, X's and O's guy to see that player management is not going very well. And that obviously falls on the coach. All those players being thrown to the U23, the rotations happening in the lineups, the uncertainty of a play style, the uncertainty of who's actually going to be our wingers, with these many games. It just seems that like he is falling short of our expectation, or maybe he is not necessarily the coach that we expected. And, maybe it also falls a lot on the squad and the individualities that we have, that we're going to pull a lot of games off just because we have talented players.
He's ruthless, but I don't know if it's in a good way.
Yeah.
So.
Yikes. Well, we're getting close to it. I think you're right, Dennis. I think it's going to be like a 9-10 kickoff. Anything else you guys want to go over before we log off?
Did you cook?
No, I didn't cook. I ate. I made some chicken earlier.
Okay.
And I made some rice, and I made some squash and zucchini. So that was my dinner.
Healthy man.
During the week, I like to, but I'm going to tailgate tomorrow. U of H plays at Iowa State, and it's my first one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're terrible, but I'll be there representing my alma mater and, my alumni organization. We put together tailgates every game.
So what you're saying is if you start randomly tweeting some funny stuff in the middle of the day tomorrow.
No, there's no games tomorrow, though. There'll be no action. Tigres Femenil doesn't play. Tigres doesn't play. The Cowboys already played. Everything's out of the way.
Just because everything's out of the way doesn't mean that a couple of drinks in you won't influence you.
Well, yeah, if I see some like outlandish takes, somebody, saying Brunetta should not be a rotational player on our squad, then maybe I'll get to it. But
maybe I'll say it to rile you up.
No, don't do that.
Just start praising Reyes and Tercero in the chat.
I can deal with Reyes being praised. I don't know if I can deal with Tercero being praised.
Maybe Lainez instead.
I'll bring up Felipe.
See, I'm okay with that. I think the trigger points are like Lainez. Anybody talking good about what Lainez is doing, that triggers me because clearly we're blind to the last. Son puros piquetes de ojos, bro. As like people in Spanish used to say. We're still thinking Lainez is playing for Betis.
Yeah.
You ever heard Canales talk about Lainez?
No.
No.
You ever heard any Betis player? The only one that I heard talk about Lainez is Hector Bellerin.
Huh.
Arsenal legend.
Is he?
Not really. No, he's not a legend. I'm just saying.
So the good words always come from La Volpe, and he always ends up with, but he screwed up by going to Betis. So
yeah.
Should have went to the Netherlands.
Yep. Absolutely. Guerrerito's currently doing his Quien Va a Ganar Hoy. So we're about 5 minutes from kickoff. The bench players are coming out on the field.
No Samir tonight. We forgot to mention that. No Samir.
Dude, yeah, not on the team sheet.
There's like 2 defenders on the
See,
bench.
again, bad player management. I understand he's not playing, but you re-signed him, and you sent youngster Rafael, who got hurt, obviously, haven't even brought him to the team sheet. Purata, you sent to the U23 in the last week or so, and now you just strictly cut Samir. Like, I'm sorry, Samir is definitely better than Purata.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that's
100%.
And I mean, if we're gonna believe that he got back in form just based off of social media pictures, yeah, for sure.
I don't know, dude. This guy's, I don't know. He's rubbing me off the wrong way. 15 games in.
It's a mystery.
Yep.
I might have to call Glenn Davis from ESPN.
You did another rant?
Yeah, no,
You
just
need a vent?
he knows him. He knows him personally. I want to see, and he interviewed him when he was here for in Leagues
Right.
Cup.
That's
And
true.
I want to see, and maybe I gotta talk, to some Chicago. Maybe I gotta call Jorge Moreno in Chicago and see, and gotta do more investigating on Paunovic. Maybe it was a fluke what he did at Chivas against us.
It's possible.
It's not translating at all. The positives that he did with that Chivas teams, I don't see them here.
And I was super hyped up, bro, because I said it in the pod when we recorded on Monday. I've been preaching for everything that they brought in over the last 6 months with him, or a few months with him, which is a style of training, specific coaches for different things, more European like minded trainings and methods of like practicing. And here we are. Maybe Tuca and Tenis Balon was right after all.
It's possible. Hey, before we go, we have an important question from Woods. Are we doing a watch along, or as he says, you's doing a watch along?
No, I'm not, lad.
Not this time.
My laptop is in my office, and I'm going to my comfortable couch to watch the game. So if I do get stressed, at least I'm comfortable.
Fun
So
time.
we're still feeling a victory tonight, or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We said that against Querétaro and Juárez.
But we got
did
to
win it. We got to
No,
be Juárez.
the Juárez doesn't even seem like he feel like a victory.
We're at home.
Okay, I'm gonna trust you guys. I'm gonna relax and expect a very convincing victory tonight with a stellar performance by Antuna and Osiel Herrera feeding Gignac.
Yeah, to quote the great Aaron Rodgers, RELAX, relax.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, we're very close to kickoff. Gotta log off, guys. Those who watch, we were trying to figure out if you guys, Friday game, we didn't know if people were going to be active or not. Thanks for watching. We didn't have nothing scripted. We were just trying to kick it, come on here and say what's up. So
a vibe check, if you will.
A vibe check for sure. That's a good way to put it. Enjoy the game and catch our live tweets. Double O Nation, Lau Times. Dennis Gartman, he doesn't live tweet very much during the game, but he'll definitely, chime in on the group threads. You'll see Tigres take, obviously, Alfred taking on his, half our timeline with his controversial and very energetic takes, which I love. And then Tigres English, Mr. Lou Popovich. Make sure you follow Tigres English for up-to-date of everything going on surrounding the game. So catch us, and we'll see you guys on Monday for our live episode, 9:00 Central Standard Time, Texas time. And see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.
Go Tigres.